Hi, this is David Miles Huber with Modern Recording Techniques. And today I'd like to talk about something a little different, something that's quite personal to me actually. Many of those who know me know that I'm an electronic musician. And as a result, as many electronic musicians, you're recording synthesizers, you're recording drum machines, you're using samples, you're using your own recorded material, you're doing vocals, a lot of different sources. And it's not just like straight ahead rock recording, for example, or classical recording. You're using it from a lot of different sources. And of course, these synthesizers, these machines, these etc., are usually have a stereo output. And as a result, almost all of my tracks are in stereo. And because of also my understanding of close technique, distant technique, miking techniques in general, as well as stereo miking technique, I will often, when I do my own recordings or my own samples or the own instruments, I will usually record in at least stereo, sometimes in immersive. I will use multiple channels, the distant miking, etc. But so the recordings that I do live actually will all be in stereo. And as a result, I end up not doing any panning whatsoever. That is, my tracks are almost always hard left, hard right. And the panning is actually taken care of by the sound source itself. And so when somebody looks at one of my sessions, you go, Dave doesn't pan. and I don't. I use the actual sound sources to create the immersion, to create the stereo field. Very rarely and very occasionally I will have to do width thinning or some possible turning off to the sides, but that's pretty rare. So it's very, very funny that somebody will look at my session and go, you don't do panning. And the side benefit of that, like I said, like I hinted at before, is the degree of immersion that happens. That there's this left-right field that is sort of dispersed and not pinpointed. And I really, really like that. And I am not saying anything here. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm not saying anything other than the fact of simply being aware of how that can work within a mix. In stereo, I've had people go, your stereo mixes actually sound immersive, sound almost larger, and have a degree of height to them in and of themselves. And it's just interesting that, that when you use stereo recording, either X, Y, whatever, and all the different sound sources, that you can get that degree of immersion. And with me, those who know me also know that I'm into immersive audio. With that left-right feel in the immersive sound stage, then things get completely crazy and in a really wonderful way. You get this width, you get this expansiveness. You can take left-right and go left-right front, left-right rear, left-right on the sides, left-right down the middle, all sorts of things. So I'm really not sitting here saying, hey, this is what you should do, this is what. I'm simply saying, understand that as a tool. And that if you don't do panning on those, which of course, if you're going to record a synth, that's going to go usually left-right. But just sort of keep a thought out for that, an understanding of, hey, this adds a degree of spatialness to the mix. So just keeping a lookout, keeping an eye out, and sort of understanding that. It's rather fun. For me, it's been a signature thing, and it's changed the way that my projects sound because it creates a greater degree of depth, I feel. So thanks for listening. As always, we're a new site, so feel free to like and subscribe. It helps increase our viewership and how we can get our videos to you. So all the best, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.